All right. Hello, Ed Dennehy. Welcome to Life Before the Virus.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for joining us. And you're on Long Island where you operate a barbershop. And I'd love for you to share with everyone your story on how this virus impacted you and the changes that you've made.
Basically, we own MadMen Barbershop. We have two locations. One is on Merrick Road in Wantaw, and one is on Hillside Avenue in Willison Park. And more or less, we are a collaborative barbershop that mixes a lot of different elements of menswear. So I'm a menswear designer, a custom tailor, who also owns the barbershop. And throughout all the years of doing business with different tailors, when the virus was starting to break out in Asia, the factories retooled and repurposed and ended up manufacturing FDA certified surgical masks. So I was able to really procure the masks rather quickly and have them sent to New York, even before the executive order that closed all the businesses, including my own.
So these were masks that you had started using late last year.
The first delivery was more towards March, but we had known that there was access to them right around in January timeframe.
Okay, so now you have access to these masks here, and then the pandemic hits, and that really puts you ahead of the game because everyone starts scrambling for masks.
Yes. So it was serendipitous, I call it, because usually someone like us, like a regular business owner, doesn't really have access to these supplies. They're PPE, they're really geared for the hospitals and medical companies. So to be able to have access to what they couldn't get was essential to us to try to bring it, to the streets of Long Island and make sure that as many people we could cover were covered.
So while your shops are closed now, you've still been working all the time. I see it all over social media. You're out there hustling. Yeah. And tell us how that's going.
Well, they told us that we had to close our business, but they didn't say we had to stop working. So I basically tried to turn our business and our personalities as essential. We're go-getters, and we took the PPE and we tried to contact as many people as we could to start distributing them all along Long Island. And it was a little difficult, but we met with good people, and we were able to start doing the donation drives and the PPE drives and donating to different fire departments, police departments, OEM. The list is very long to go through. But yeah, we can't just stay home. We felt it was a responsibility because you have top levels of government, the president, the governor, all asking for the supply, and we had it. So we tried to let our voices be heard as much as possible.
So then how many of these different donation sites have you done? I know you do these events in the community where you invite people to come pick up masks.
I don't know the exact number, but I would have to say it's probably above 50 in 6 weeks. That's all different types of donation events, whether I'm bringing masks to the Long Beach Police Department or to the Port Authority PBA, or COBA PBA, or handing them out just in the middle of Merrick Road to first responders and their families. We really tried our hardest to get as many masks out there as possible to people. We didn't have the same access as other people, so we tried to be as creative as possible.
So when you say you didn't have the same access as other people, what do you mean?
Well, for example, if we call the hospital and we're like, hi, it's the Dennehy's from a barbershop and we have masks, it's really not something that they're used to hearing. And we basically don't have what I felt we didn't have any legitimacy to really have that professional conversation where they're trying to procure the masks from the normal channels. So I decided to really just, go to the hospital with the bag, knock on the door, and give them what they needed. And that's pretty much what we tried to do with everyone that we worked with.
So
once we noticed that it was a little difficult.
So you've had some buzz on social media and in some news outlets and broadcast television. I see the different videos of really people line up in their cars to pick up these masks from you.
Yeah, it's been really wild. Yesterday we had an event with Senator Kaminsky at the Five Towns Community Center. And through his help, we were able to facilitate a donation of over 3,000 masks that went to people in need in the whole Five Towns community. So just that particular event, there was cars lined up all around because we tried to make it curbside to keep with the regulations and follow the same regulations that they approve for restaurants and hand out masks in a safe way. And it was just wild. It took us about 15 minutes just to park to our own event. So they really brought a great group of people together who were in need yesterday.
So do you still have a ton of masks to give away?
Yeah, we do. We do. We are planning future events. One of them is on the 16th with Legislator Lafazin's office. We're going to be doing a curbside pickup with him and his staff in Syosset, and I believe that's where you're from, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we just confirmed with them, and we're going to be pledging 2,000 masks to him.
Wow, it's really amazing how this happened. Like you said, serendipitous.
Mm-hmm. And you
So
know what? It really, I don't want to say that we inspired people because I think they have like a kind will in their heart already, but it definitely showed people that someone who was like quote unquote normal citizen can make a difference. And I think that that's really what community is about because, you know, as an individual, you don't always have that access. You don't have a title of, you know, leadership. And you just have to kind of just, you know, force yourself to do it and get out there and help your neighbors.
I know, and it's true that that's what we're seeing a lot of now, are ordinary citizens stepping up in ways that no one had anticipated. I'm sure that if you look at your past, you never thought you'd be doing something like this.
No, not at all. Not in the medical field with the PPE. It's, you know, it makes sense now after the fact as far as tailoring and, you know, I make custom suits. So the factories that I deal with, we're making shirts and ties and vests all the time, but we don't think of masks. You know, it's not something that, you know, even though it's sewn in a very similar fashion, but you don't think about this until something hits. And what's great about what we were able to procure is they're FDA approved. So they really can be used really on the front lines where a lot of the cloth masks, you know, they're not functionable for the front lines to deal with the public in hospitals and things like that.
So this is something really fantastic, and you have a couple more events coming up, and I will certainly post about them and link back to your pages. And we really appreciate your community service and your volunteerism during this time.
I appreciate that. And I have to say that even someone like yourself being out, getting the community involved in any way that you can and bringing our stories out to the public really does help, because there might be somebody else that says, well, what can I do to help? And you're able to get that information out to them as well.
Do you need volunteers on the street helping you at these drive-through events?
Not so much. We really try to do everything ourselves. One, because we don't want to expose other people to get sick. Two, you're really not supposed to have that like great group of people, like, you know, a large group of people with you. So we try to distribute everything as orderly as possible with the smallest amount of people to be safe.
Thank you so much for your work.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.